Hello everyone, welcome to online class. My dear students, today in this video we are going to deal one of the poem from Marigold English textbook, and that is for the students of class 5th. And this poem is taken from unit 3 of our book. Okay, unit 3rd. Okay, and this poem that we are going to see is very funny, very interesting and very enjoyable. Okay, so before we begin this poem, my shadow, okay, let me ask you some of the questions. My dear students, do you understand what does it mean by shadow? Yes, you know what does it mean by shadow. ये हमारा परछाई है. Okay, so shadow means परछाई. Okay, that is what our shadow is. So when we can see the shadow, at what time can you see the shadow? And how does it look like? How does it look like? The shadow looks like us only, but it is just a shadow. Therefore, we can look it just behind of us, in front of us, around us, and all these things. According to the reflection of the light. Okay, when there is sunlight is there, we can see the shadow in the morning. The shadow that follows us. Okay, and at the night. Okay, at night, if there is light, then we can see the shadow. Yes or no? So this shadow is due to light, okay, which falls on our body, and that lights का opposite part में हमारा shadow हमको दिखाई देता है. Okay, for example, are you able to notice in this video any shadow? Yes, you must be able to notice the shadow of myself here. Okay, that is behind me, and that is with me here, teaching you together with me. Okay, so that is what shadow is there behind of me. My shadow, you can see everybody here in that video itself. Okay, so now let us see all about the shadow. You may be seeing that when there is the afternoon is there, the shadow is very little. Okay, just at the foot of ours. Okay, and in the morning we can see the shadow too long. It looks like. Okay, बहुत बड़ा दिखता है. और शाम को भी देखेंगे तो बहुत बड़ा shadow हमको दिखाई देता है ना? क्यों? According to the light that falls. Okay, if the light is falling just over the head, then it will be very small. Okay, and if the light is falling from this side like this, then it will be very big one, big shadow we can see. Okay, so my dear students, one thing you just see when there is sunlight is there, you just go in the sun and just see the shadow. In the morning, how big it is, and in the evening, how big it is. In the afternoon, how big it is. You can just measure them. Okay, will you do that? Yes, everybody will do that. And again, you do one more activity. Okay, you take the torch light. You might have in your house torch or the battery that we call. Okay, just see the shadow of your fingers. Okay, when you take the light in your finger. Okay, for example, like this, you can see my shadow. Are you able to see my hand behind that? Okay, and if I take that hand far away, my shadow also increases bigger and bigger. Okay, when I take it closer, then my shadow is just as my palm. Okay, so you can do this activity also. Take the battery in your hand and just focus, put the light on and see the shadow of your hand or finger. Okay, that you can see very nicely. Okay, so that activity also you do and just experience about the shadow when it becomes big and when it becomes small. Okay, will you do that activity, everybody? Yes, everybody will do that activity. So before we start this point, let us see some of the things that we have to discuss before we begin reading and understanding this poem. And this poem is written by, let us see, the poet here written by Robert Louis Stevenson. Okay, Robert Louis Stevenson. Okay, so this is the poet who has written this shadow, and here you can see the picture of the boys, girls. Okay, and here one of the one boy is just trying to do that activity. Just I was telling you. Okay, so let us start with the bubble. What is telling us to do? Do you know whenever there is light, someone follows you? Do you know whenever there is light, someone follows you? आपको पता है जब भी लाइट होता है कोई आपको फॉलो करता है, कोई आपके पीछे रहता है. क्या पता है वो कौन है? Do you know who is he? Okay, then have you ever wondered who it is? Have you ever wondered who it is? Okay, whenever there is light, someone follows you. Have you ever thought who is that man who is following you? Who is that? It is just our shadow and nothing else, nobody else. You can see one shadow is just behind me, following me. Okay? Then let us see. This point is very enjoyable and very funny that we are going to read, and here we'll enjoy. So before we start reading, let us see some of the difficult word meaning that we are going to come across in this word. Here in this poem is here. New words just we'll just understand and we'll read the poem, and it will be very interesting for us. Indian rubber ball, okay, a ball that can bounce very high. Have you seen Indian rubber ball? This is one kind of ball it is, okay. That ball is very bouncing, okay. If you just put that ball down on the ground, it will just bounce like anything, okay. If you throw that one, you will not be able to see that one, okay. It is different from other balls like a tennis ball and other things. That Indian rubber ball is very different. That is like rubber only, and if we just drop that one, it bounces very high. That is called Indian rubber ball. Okay, I know most of you play with that particular ball. Okay, then buttercup. Buttercup, what is that? It is a yellow flower. Okay, this is a yellow flower that we can see here in our surroundings. Mostly in the morning, if you see that buttercup, it looks yellowish, and how beautiful it looks when the sunlight falls in the morning. Okay, and very nice this flower is in the morning if you see, especially during winter season. Then orange, okay, orange, what is bird? Okay, बहुत दूरा आदमी को orange person कह सकते हैं हम. Then orange sleepy head, okay, orange sleepy head. Sleepy head you might have seen in your previous class. Okay, in 4th standard, Neha's alarm clock, I think, or okay, wake up. There you have come across the sleepy head. Yes or no? So here, orange sleepy head, what is it? Completely inattentive. Completely inattentive means he is not caring for anything. He is not just getting up in the morning. He is just sleeping and sleeping. Okay, sleepy head that we have seen. So this is what the words meaning that we are going to come across in this lesson. So let us start the poem and try to understand sentence by sentence. Okay, and that is what how funny it is about our shadow that the poet is trying to tell us. Okay, and everybody is familiar with the shadow. सबको पता है अपने परछाई के बारे में, है ना. कभी-कभी हम क्या होता है, कभी-कभी हम अकेले रहते हैं तो हमारा परछाई को देखकर हम डर जाते हैं. हमको लगता है कि कौन है, लेकिन हमारा परछाई ही रहता है. ओके, तो इस प्रकार की घटना हुआ है हम सबके साथ. जब घर में हम अकेले रहते हैं, स्पेशली रात को, तब हमारे परछाई को ही देखकर हम डर जाते थे कभी-कभी, क्योंकि वो हमारे तरह ही दिखता है और वो हमारे पीछे-पीछे हमको फॉलो कर रहा है जैसे लगता है. Okay, so let us see here about this poem. I have a little shadow that goes in and out with me. Here one boy is there who is telling about his shadow. Okay, I have a little shadow that goes in and out with me, and what can be the use of it is more than I can see. Okay, what did he say? I have a little shadow. Okay, I have a shadow, and that shadow goes in and out with me. Means how it goes in and out with me. If the light is falling from the front side, then the shadow will be back. If the light is falling from back side, then the shadow will be in front of us. So that way it is going inside and again coming this side and again this side, and that is what it is going in and out of me. He says. और उसी तरह से वो बोलता है कि मेरा shadow जब मेरा light जो सामने से पड़ेगा तो मेरा shadow किधर दिखाई देगा, पीछे दिखाई देगा. जब पीछे से लाइट पड़ेगा तो shadow कहाँ पे दिखेगा, सामने दिखेगा. इसी तरह से वो बोलता है कि मेरा जो shadow है वो बहुत छोटा है और मेरे अंदर बाहर हमेशा जाता रहता है. Okay, and what can be the use of it is more than I can see. और उसका इस्तेमाल क्या है. ओके, वो shadow से क्या कर पाएंगे हम, उसका कोई भी उपयोग नहीं है, कोई भी इस्तेमाल नहीं है. सिर्फ मैं उसको क्या कर सकता हूँ, देख सकता हूँ. उसको मैं पकड़ नहीं सकता. ओके, उसको मैं मार नहीं सकता, कुछ भी नहीं कर सकता, उसके साथ में खेल नहीं सकता. सिर्फ मैं वो shadow को क्या कर सकता हूँ, सिर्फ देख सकता हूँ. Only that much I can do with the shadow. He is very like me from the heel up to the head, and I see him jump before me when I jump into my bed. Okay, and now, how does the shadow look like? Our shadow is looking very like me. As I am, the shadow also same as me. Okay, shadow कैसे दिखता है? मेरे जैसे ही दिखता है, पूरी मेरे तरह से ही दिखता है, मेरे जैसे ही दिखता है, और नीचे से लेकर ऊपर तक मेरा जो है फीट है, हैंड है, ओके, हेड है, और सब कुछ है। शैडो का भी उसी तरह से सब कुछ है, मेरे जैसे ही वो टोटली मेरे तरफ ही दिखता है। ओके, फ्रॉम द हील अप टू द हेड। हील मींस क्या है? हमारा पैर, फुट। ओके, देन I see him jump before me when I jump into my bed. And what is this? I see him. I see my shadow before I go to the bed, and that jumps before me only. Okay? मेरा बेड के ऊपर जाने के पहले ही मेरा shadow वहां पे jump कर लेता है ना? Okay, is it like that? Yes, that is why, because it is our just a shadow. If the light is falling from this side and we are just going to the bed from this side, then the shadow will be there on our bed before we go into the bed. हम बिस्तर में रखने के पहले shadow हमारे पहले ही लेट जाएगा. Okay, so that is what he says. Okay, when I jump into my bed, before I jump, the shadow is there. Then the funniest thing about him is the way he likes to grow. Not at all like proper children, which is always very slow. Okay. Now here what he says, the funniest thing. One of the things that is very funny about the shadow is that we have seen that small children how they grow. Okay, children how they grow? Slowly they grow, year by year, day by day. Okay, month by month they are growing up. We also grew. All of a sudden we did not grow like this. Yes or no? अभी बहुत साल बाद मैं इतना बड़ा हूँ और मैं धीरे धीरे मैं बढ़ता हूँ, जैसे मेरा साल गुजरते हैं वैसे ही मैं बढ़ जाता हूँ। लेकिन यहाँ पे ये जो शैडो की बात आ रही है, यहाँ पे परछाई की बात हो रही है, तो क्या हो रहा है कि परछाई अचानक बढ़ जाता है और अचानक छोटी हो जाती है। ओके, सो दैट इज नॉट लाइक द प्रॉपर चिल्ड्रन। जैसे कि वो छोटे बच्चे जैसे बढ़ते धीरे धीरे से, मतलब वो साल गुजरते गुजरते उनका साइज भी बड़ा हो जाता है, वैसे नहीं है शैडो कि उसको 1 साल लगेंगे 2 साल लगेंगे इतना बड़ा होने में, वैसे नहीं है। अचानक बड़ा हो जाता है, अचानक छोटा हो जाता है, और वही चीज एक बहुत फनी लगता है यहाँ पे शैडो के बारे में। Okay, like to grow not at all like proper children, which is always very slow. So how the children grow? They are growing very slowly, not like the shadow. All of a sudden they are becoming a huge person. Okay, for he sometimes shoots up taller like an Indian rubber ball, and he sometimes gets so little that there is none of him at all. Okay, so now what it says, कभी कभी ऐसे हो जाता है कि ये जो परछाई है इतना बड़ा हो जाता है, इतना लंबा हो जाता है कि ये जो इंडियन रबर बॉल जो है, जब हम उसको बाउंस करने के लिए नीचे डाल देंगे तो कैसे ऊपर हो जाता है अचानक। ओके, ऑल ऑफ अ सडन बाउंसिंग अप लाइक दैट ओनली व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, द शैडो आल्सो इज ग्रोइंग। उसी तरह से शैडो भी बढ़ जाता है, और कभी कभी तो वैसे हो जाता है कि वो इतना छोटा हो जाता है कोई भी उसके तरह नहीं रहता, इतना छोटा है कि और पूछो ही मत। ओके, देयर इज नन ऑफ हिम एट ऑल लाइक ही। ओके, कोई भी उसकी तरह दिखाई नहीं देता, इतना छोटा हो जाता है। ओके, सो लेट अस सी अगेन नेक्स्ट। One morning very early before the sun I was up, I rose and found the shining dew on every buttercup. Okay, so now one day what is happening? One day the boy who is here, he got up early in the morning. Okay, he got up early in the morning before the sun was up, before the sun was rising. Okay, sun rising होने के पहले ही ये लड़का उठ गया एक दिन सुबह। Okay, and what he saw, I rose and found the shining dew. Dew, what is that dew? सुबह जो धूप गिरती है उसको dew बोला जाता है। So that is dew on every buttercup. What is that buttercup? This is a yellow flower. So on this yellow flower there is a dew is there, dew fall is there. Okay, and it is looking very beautiful in the morning, but it is happening before the sun rising is there. Okay, सूरज उगने के पहले ये सारी चीज हो रहा है। ये लड़का सुबह उठ जाता है सूरज उगने के पहले और देखता है कि ये जो ड्यू है ये बटर कप के ऊपर बहुत फैला हुआ है और वो कैसे हो रहा है, शाइनिंग हो रहे हैं। ओके, एंड let us see. But my lazy little shadow, like an around sleepy hair, had stayed at home behind me and was fast asleep in bed. Okay, but my little shadow, the boy is telling, मैं सब सुबह सूरज उगने के पहले ही उठ गया, लेकिन मेरा जो परछाई है वो क्या कर रहा है अभी तक, एक लेजी shadow या फिर लेजी परछाई जो अभी तक स्लीपिंग कर रहा है, अभी तक सो रहा है। कौन बोल रहे हैं, लड़का वैसे बोल रहा है कि आराम स्लीपी है, लाइक एन आराम स्लीपी है, जैसे कि एक बहुत गहरे नींद में पड़ने वाला इंसान जैसे वो अभी तक सो रहा है। ओके, he stayed at home behind me and that shadow is there behind me, means the shadow is there already on his bed, he is not wake up till now. Okay, and the boy is early wake up. Okay, me and was first asleep in bed. Okay, and that shadow is left behind me on the bed itself and is first asleep, मतलब बहुत गहरे नींद में पड़ा हुआ है। कौन बोल रहा है, the boy is saying all these things. Okay, so my dear students, can you tell me, when there is no light, when there is no sunlight, can we see the shadow? No, we cannot see our shadow. So in the same way, sunlight was not up now till now. Okay, the boy is got up and he is not able to see because there is no sunlight, therefore he is not able to see his shadow, but he is thinking that the shadow is still sleeping in his bed like an around sleepy hair. Okay, so my dear students, here in this point what we can see specifically is that whenever there is light we can see our shadow, and we can see our shadow growing bigger and smaller according to the lights, from which direction it is falling. If it is coming from the straight forward, then our shadow will be small. If it is coming from this way, our shadow will be long, and this way our shadow will be long. So that is what we have to see. Okay, we have to understand that shadow, how it grows and how it reduces and how the shadow is and when we can see the shadow. So my dear students, here we have seen this poem, My Shadow, and we complete here, and in the next video we are going to see the question and answer related to this poem, My Shadow. So if you have any doubt regarding this poem, My Shadow, अगर आपको कोई भी डाउट होगा, कोई भी सेंटेंस या कोई भी वर्ड आपको समझ में नहीं आया होगा, आपको क्या करना है, आप मुझे पूछना है, मैसेज करके पूछ सकते हैं कि सर मुझे ये लेसन अच्छी तरह से समझ में नहीं आया, ये चैप्टर या फिर ये वर्ड मुझे समझ में नहीं आया। ओके, you feel free to contact me and you can ask me any question regarding this lesson. Okay, so my dear students, we'll meet again in the next video with the question and answer of this poem.